Unknown. Henderson Field, Guadalcanal, 2,200 hours. The jungle breathes like a living thing. Every leaf glistens with humidity. Every sound carries weight. In the darkness, Private Robert Young Deere of the 164th Infantry Regiment checks his M1 Garand one final time, 8 rounds locked into its en-bloc clip. Around him, men whisper prayers, fingers tense on triggers. Tonight, history will pivot on the rhythm of a rifle. Then the sound comes. A tidal scream of Banzai, Tatsugiki. Thousands of Japanese soldiers surge through the jungle, bayonets flashing in starlight. Lieutenant Kenji Yamamoto leads them, his Type 38 Arisaka rifle long and unwieldy in the undergrowth. Up, back, forward, down, he cycles the bolt by instinct, as if tradition itself could keep pace with modernity. The American line ignites. Semi-automatic fire rolls across the field like thunder on metal rails. Each Garand cycles itself. Boom, clack, boom, until individual shots blur into a mechanical roar. The jungle fills with lead. Yamamoto's men fall in seconds, courage swallowed by industrial rhythm. At dawn, silence. The field is littered with Arisaka rifles, half-loaded, their owners still clutching them. Private Deere wipes sweat and mud from his face. His rifle still smokes. 8 rounds, 2 reloads, 1 night, and an empire stopped in its tracks. The M1 Garand story began not in battle but in silence, inside Springfield Armory, Massachusetts. John Cantius Garand, a quiet Canadian-born machinist, spent 17 years perfecting a semi-automatic rifle that could withstand war's brutality. When the U.S. Army adopted it in 1936, America became the first nation to arm every infantryman with self-loading firepower. The rifle fired the .30-06 Springfield cartridge, a 150-grain bullet screaming at 2,800 feet per second. Gas tapped from the muzzle drove an operating rod that ejected and reloaded automatically. A trained soldier could fire 40 to 50 aim shots per minute, more than double any bolt-action rifle. Across the Pacific, Japan fielded the Arisaka, a weapon of another era. The Type 38 and Type 99 were strong and accurate but demanded manual rhythm. Bolt up, back, forward, down. In a world now measured in milliseconds, that rhythm was a death sentence. Two philosophies clashed. Japan's craftsmanship and spirit versus America's automation and scale. When they met in the Solomons, the result wasn't just a firefight, it was an industrial revolution made audible. America's factories became cathedrals of production. At Springfield Armory and Winchester, steam hissed and presses pounded steel into precision. By 1944, 1,600 Garands left assembly lines daily, each one a heartbeat in the nation's industrial symphony. Japan's arsenals could not compete. By 1944, the Type 99 was stripped of chrome, monopod, and polish. Rifles arrived with rough wood and scratched steel. The weapon, once symbolizing imperial precision, became evidence of collapse. The Garand thrived in places where machines shouldn't: rain, sand, mud. At Cape Gloucester, Marines fired in monsoon storms while Japanese rifles jammed with mud. Reliability became the difference between holding ground and being swallowed by it. Ammunition was America's real secret weapon. The .30-06 fed rifles, Bars and Brownings alike. In contrast, Japan's dual-caliber system split its logistics, creating units armed but ammunitionless. Industry had become strategy. Each pull of the Garand's trigger was an equation. Mechanics plus momentum equals survival. On Guadalcanal, one American company fired 250,000 rounds in 2 days. Mathematics replaced myth. Guadalcanal proved the concept. Saipan made it legend. At dawn on July 7, 1944, 3,000 Japanese soldiers charged. The Americans fired until their barrels glowed. Each Garand spoke with precision. Each clip pinged like a metronome, marking the end of a charge. The battlefield became a mathematical machine of death. Letters from Japanese officers told the same story. "The Americans' automatic rifles are devastating," wrote Lieutenant Takahashi. "Each fires as if it were a machine gun." He died hours later, bolt frozen mid-cycle. The Garand reshaped training. Drills taught soldiers to fire, observe, adjust, and fire again without breaking sight picture. Each unit became a rhythmic engine of controlled violence. The rifle turned infantry from marksmen into mobile artillery. By Paliliu, the Marines called it their lifeline. In the Coral Heat, Corporal R.V. Bergen remembered 4 men pouring 40 rounds into a cave before the enemy could reply with 5. The Garand was now a force multiplier in human hands. Even its sound became legend. The metallic ping of the ejected clip was so distinct that it defined an era. It was the sound of modernity, the end of the bolt-action world. By 1945, Japan fought with courage but without tools. Factories in Nagoya and Kakura produced rifles by hand while American machines produced perfection by the thousand. Every Garand was a replica of its brother. Every Arisaka a handcrafted orphan. Japanese doctrine clung to spirit over steel. But at Iwo Jima, Kurabayashi knew better. He forbade banzai charges, writing, "Each American with his automatic rifle equals 3 of our men. Even entrenched, they could not stem the tide." Captured reports told the truth. "Enemy rifle fire has density beyond expectation," wrote General Hyakutake. "The enemy possesses fire superiority even when outnumbered." Arithmetic had replaced honor as the measure of battle. Japan's final attempt to catch up came too late. The Type 4 semi-automatic, a Garand copy built in Yokosuka. Only 100 were made before the war ended. The Empire had mastered the idea but lost the means. Okinawa was the final lesson. 5,000 Japanese charged into the storm of Garands and machine guns. Private Brennan remembered, "We just kept pulling triggers. The Garands never stopped. 4,000 men fell in an hour. Spirit had met steel and steel prevailed. When Japan surrendered, its Arisakas lay stacked in rows of defeat. The Garand stood as proof that engineering could shape destiny. Its gas system inspired the Soviet SKS and French MAS-49. The world had learned the lesson of Springfield. In the 1950s, Japan was rearmed with the very rifle that had destroyed its empire. Young recruits trained with M1 Garands under U.S. instructors, learning discipline through the same steel that once shattered their armies. For American veterans, the Garand became a memory in motion. On quiet ranges, old men fired it again, the ping echoing like a ghost of youth. "She never let me down," one said softly. General Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. History agreed. The Garand had turned industrial engineering into battlefield supremacy. The Arisaka had embodied tradition. The Garand, the future. Even today, in museums and rifle ranges, its sound remains. Crisp, mechanical, eternal. It marks the moment humanity crossed from courage to computation, from spirit to system. On that October night in 1942, Private Robert Deere's 8 rounds foretold the future. Each shot a statement that courage was no longer enough. From Guadalcanal to Okinawa, the Garand spoke with the voice of a new age. And when the final clip pinged across the Pacific, the world it echoed through had already changed forever.